Today marks 50 years since the passing of a law that would make abortion legal in France. The then Minister for Health, Simone Veil, battled to make the law a reality in the face of stiff opposition. 50 years on, the right to abortion is now enshrined in the French Constitution. Emily Boyle and Sophie Samai report.
On the 26th of November 1974, Simone Veil took the stand in the National Assembly to defend her bill legalising the termination of pregnancy.
No woman chooses abortion lightly. Just listen to women.
The National Assembly was far from convinced of her cause. Opposition from the political right was fierce, but Simone Veil held firm, thanks to the unlikely support of Prime Minister Jacques Chirac, who was personally opposed to the law, and that of President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. Against all odds, and after 3 days and 2 nights of debate,
Pour 284.
the law was provisionally adopted for 5 years on the 17th of January 1975. Then in December 1979, the right to have an abortion was finally made permanent. But women's fight did not end there. For 50 years, they worked tirelessly to defend their rights and to make access to abortion more flexible. In 1983, the cost of abortion care was covered by the French public health system. The obligatory 7-day reflection period was abolished in 2016. 6 years later, the gestational limit for abortions was extended from 12 to 14 weeks. On the 8th of March 2024, France became the first country in the world to enshrine a woman's rights to abortion in its constitution.
And joining me now is Kei Yoshida, who is a senior legal advisor at the Centre for Reproductive Rights. Good afternoon, Kei. We are 50 years on from a historic vote that legalised abortion in France, and there's been a lot of work done since then to further liberalise France's laws. This does seem to be a constant battle. How would you describe the current state of abortion rights around the world?
Hi, good afternoon. The current state of abortion rights around the world is a progressive trend towards liberalising abortion laws, just like in France. In the past 30 years, we've seen 60 countries liberalise their abortion laws. For example, in Africa, there's been 12 countries in that continent that have removed total bans on abortion. And we can see this trend accelerating as well. In the last 10 years, in Europe, 22 countries have liberalised their laws. But France is the first country in the world, as your report indicates, to explicitly enshrine the right to abortion in its constitution.
And which countries have made the most significant progress, in your view, in securing abortion rights, and what can we learn from their policies?
Well, I think, last year France made that historic step to enshrining abortion as a constitutional right explicitly. Other countries have implicitly recognised this through constitutional court decisions, like in Colombia recently, but France is the first country to do that. And other countries are now looking at France's model. For example, Belgium, Luxembourg and Sweden just announced 2 days ago that it was also considering this. I think another really important aspect of abortion law reform is decriminalising abortion. Many countries still criminalise abortion, and it's only Canada, for example, who have completely decriminalised abortion, or other countries that are close to it, like Australia, Iceland, New Zealand.
And it's not all progress, of course. There is some backtracking. What are some of the most significant setbacks in abortion rights in recent years?
Well, we've seen 4 countries make real setbacks in recent years: in Nicaragua, Poland, El Salvador, and the US. And it's worth just pausing on the US, I think, for a second, because the Dobbs decisions overturned 50 years of constitutional abortion rights protection in the US, and that has led to 16 states in the US basically banning abortion there, and that's led to a public health crisis and even deaths. And closer to France, we've also seen real setbacks in England and Wales, for example, where the law that was historically on the books of the criminalisation of abortion is now being used to investigate and prosecute women. And 50 to 60 women who are currently under investigation for abortion-related offences there.
And how have these recent legal changes, such as the overturning of Roe versus Wade in the US that you mentioned, affected the global conversation around abortion rights? Are there ripple effects?
Yes, there are ripple effects, but I think one of the effects of the Dobbs decision, and which has been condemned by UN experts and other human rights experts, is the galvanized change. So we've seen the constitutional change in France, but we've also seen many European countries making legal changes or considering legal changes. For example, recently in Germany and Scotland to secure abortion rights. And I think people in countries around the world have realized that these protections must be further enshrined in law, otherwise setbacks can happen. Having said that, there are other possible ripple effects that may come. I think that we're going to see further restrictions on abortion rights in the US, and things like an expanded global gag rule could affect sexual and reproductive rights across the world.
Thank you very much for that, Kei Yoshida, Senior Legal Advisor at the Centre for Reproductive Rights.
Thank you.